Senator Florence Ita-Giwa is former special advisor to ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo. She also chaired the Bakassi Resettlement Committee. She joins us now to discuss life in Bakassi 14 years after the withdrawal of troops. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Prior to the Bakassi handover deadline, you embarked on campaigns and advocacy where you called precisely for the immediate resettlement of the people rather than a last-minute approach. How do you react to the fact that over a decade after, there are still Bakassi settlers living in IDP camps?
How do you react to the fact that over a decade after, there are still Bakassi settlers living in IDP camps?
Well, what has happened is most unfortunate because the seeding was very, very badly handled, to start with. And then the entire world, those that were parts of that Green Tree Agreement have totally reneged on the promise made. The people of Bakassi, at the time of seeding, were promised proper resettlement with their structure, the traditional institution, the religion, the school, the political institution, everything that was promised has been reneged upon. And unfortunately, even the way Nigeria handled it, because by rights, that before the final seeding, that agreement should have been domiciled at the National Assembly for debate, before the final seeding. However, we cannot reverse, we can only move forward. Unfortunately, today, I've taken my case to everywhere. I've carried my campaign of non-resettlement to almost all the embassies that took part in that seeding. The only respite that we have of recent is that those that lived in a classroom hall for about 8 years were recently, moved to a very, very decent housing estate in Ifiang. That's part of the new Bakassi local government. Unfortunately, most of the Bakassi people are either back there in Cameroon or like the ones I just showed now on television, that in all kinds of, horrible arrangement. But, I've been crying and Nigeria has not done well. But it wasn't, like I always say in the States here, Cross River State, that it wasn't Cross River State that seeded Bakassi. It was Nigeria that seeded Bakassi. So Nigeria is obliged to ensure the proper resettlement of Bakassi people. This will have been treated
Senator Ita-Giwa, let me jump in very quickly to ask you what you think state governments have been able to do in the past 14 years. You mentioned certain respite. Recently, the Cross River State governor allocated some bedroom flats to returnees, but the facility, we are told, is inadequate compared to the number of displaced persons. Do you think the affected state governments where returnees currently live in IDPs could also have done better?
Do you think the affected state governments where returnees currently live in IDPs could also have done better?
Can you say that again?
I'm asking what your thoughts are concerning the efforts of state governments that currently house returnees in IDP camps. Do you think they could have done better in the past 14 years in efforts to resettle these individuals?
Returnees in IDP camps. Do you think they could have done better in the past 14 years in efforts to resettle?
But there's nothing to compare, because in the past 14 years, nothing happened. Nothing has happened. Nobody has asked about where Bakassi people are. You understand? Some people went back to the creek. Some people have been living like you showed there, living like animals in the creek. Nothing has been done for anybody. It's the only thing, so you cannot compare. The only thing that happened recently is that the governor of Cross River State, moved some people that were in a classroom hall for about 8 years, sleeping on the floor with children and diseases procreating there, dying there, being buried there. move them now to an estate, a housing estate that he built for them in Ifia. So that's the only tiny good news that Bakassi people have seen in 14 years. But it is not the issue of the state. Like I keep saying, Nigeria is obliged to resettle Bakassi people very, very well. And that has not been done.
What's the way forward now? How easy do you think it will be now, many years after, to adequately identify the actual returnees in case there is a benefit somewhere in efforts to resettle them?
No, Bakassi people want to be resettled. Bakassi people are not asking for relief material. They're not asking for food. They want proper accommodation. They want to be resettled in a home of their own. They want a place where they will be resettled, and each indigene is given an area where it belongs to where they come from. Because all Bakassi people are not from the same village. They are different people. So they have to come and delineate the area. The traditional institution must be given a place. The Bama ruler must be given a kingdom. There has to be churches there. There has to be schools there. There has to be hospitals there. Because people are dying of disease with no care. So they have to ensure that they live a normal life like their fellow Nigerians. Because these are people that vote for political leaders in this country. So why can't we treat them well? Nigeria is obliged to treat Bakassi people well. Nigeria is obliged to resettle Bakassi people once and for all, because enough is enough.
Former Special Advisor to ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo, Senator Florence Ita-Giwa, thank you for talking to us tonight.